Hi everybody. What we're going to do is I wanted to go over the training of today, and it actually is day 6. Put your dream to the test. I have my notes here on my phone, that's why I'm looking at it. So what we wanted to do is, first a quick overview. On day 6, put your dream to the test. What we're doing is 10 days of actually building a dream, and then 10 days of putting that dream to the test. When I first looked over all this information, with Put Your Dream to the Test, what I first figured out is you have to have a dream to begin with. So what I wanted to do is just walk you through a series of how to basically build a dream, how to put it together, the different steps to put it together from what I've learned, and then how to put that dream to the test to see if it meets all the standards, all the values, and really John Maxwell's idea of what the correct dream is. So first of all, how can we put a dream to the test if we don't have one to start with? So what we're going to do in this series is we kind of go through and explore and discover desire, dreams, what a purpose statement is, what a mission statement is, what a vision statement is. We're going to go over goals, success, achievement, excuses, some of the BS that we kind of put on ourselves, lies about, and they're not lies that we're necessarily telling to other people, but lies we might tell ourselves about why we can't. And then we're going to talk about the number one enemy. Today's focus is goals. Success, and this is what Jim Rohn says, success is steady progress towards one's personal goals. Jim Rohn also said, if you go to work on your goals will work on you. If you go to work on your plan will go to work for you. And whatever good things we build end up building us. So as you go through the process, that's what really creates a momentum. A lot of people say, well, how do I get motivated to do this? You get motivated to do it by actually doing it. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. So this is the connectability. Confucius said, when it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, but adjust the plan or the action steps to get there. Zig Ziglar, what you get by achieving your goals is not nearly as important as what you become by achieving your goals. Setting goals is the first step to turning the invisible into the visible. That's actually Tony Robbins. And then Earl Nightingale said, people with goals succeed because they know where they're going. And if you know where you're going, it's a lot easier to obviously accomplish something and get somewhere. Success is steady progress towards one's personal goals, Jim Rohn. So goals. David Bird actually had a whole section and talked about this. He goes, goals turn dreams into reality in small annual increments, step by step. Question, what specific goals can I achieve this year that will move me closer to my vision? Now, I know we've also talked about, what your vision is, what your mission is, what your purpose is. Your purpose is why you're going to do something. Your mission is step by step how you're going to do it. Your vision is where you see yourself in a given increment of time. Your goals is what you plan on accomplishing year by year to get there. So what he recommended is one goal for the whole year. He said, can you do 3 or 4? Yeah, but one goal for the whole year. He actually told a great story of Paul J. Meyer, and Paul J. Meyer actually said, I've never missed a goal. And he's like, well, how is that even possible that you can never miss a goal? And he goes, we have to understand it's how I set goals. He goes, the way that I set a goal is I've never missed because of the way that I put it together, and I'm going to go over that process here in a minute. But there's a great story of a couple, Scott and Casey. We'll just use their first names. If you know who they are, you'll know who they are. But I was on a special call with them and David Bird when David Bird actually sat down and talked to Scott and Casey about their goals. And they had a big running list of all these different things that they wanted to accomplish. And he said, let me kind of help you narrow it down. And I remember the list pretty specifically. I took notes on it, but this was a call probably from maybe 3 to 5 years ago. And he said, number 1, Scott and Casey wanted to earn a certain amount of money. Number 2 is they wanted to take their family to Disney World. Number 3 is they wanted to achieve a certain level in their business. Number 4, they were talking about being able to move, I believe it was to Las Vegas, which I know they live now, but I believe it was to Las Vegas. And then they also had a dream of being able to pay off all debt, pay off their house, pay off their car. So they were looking at buying new homes, buying new cars, and those things. That was just some of the stuff that I remember from this conversation. And if I get any of it wrong, and Scott and Casey happen to be watching this, if I get any of it wrong, text me. I'll straighten it down on another call. But it was really cool how David Bird looked, and he had that list. Obviously, David Bird's one of those people who probably wrote it all down. And he goes, let me ask you some questions about that. He goes, let me ask you this. He goes, if you were able to pay off all debt, would that allow you to get the rest of your dreams? And they said, well, no. He said, okay, well, if you were able to move, and I can't remember if they were moving to Vegas or where they were moving, but they talked about, being able to move. He said, if you were able to move, just move, would that necessarily help you accomplish all your dreams and goals? The rest of them, he's like, no, not really. So a new home wouldn't do it, a new car wouldn't do it. He goes, if you hit that certain level in your business, would that necessarily allow you to achieve the rest of the things on this list? And they kind of talked about it for a little while, and they said, well, that level doesn't necessarily equals a minimum amount of money, and there are some people who make much more, but that level in the business necessarily can't guarantee us that we hit every single thing on the list. He's like, okay, so that's not it. Going to Disney World, obviously just going to Disney World doesn't allow you to accomplish everything you want to do. And then the last one is make that certain amount of money. And it was over 6 figures. And he goes, let me ask a question. If you were able to make that certain amount of money that was over 6 figures, would that allow you to go to Disney World? They said, yes. They said, would it allow you to hit that certain level in the business? They said, well, not exactly, but probably. Would it allow you to buy a new house? Yes. Would it allow you to move to Vegas? Yes. Would it allow you to pay off all your debt? Yes. Would it allow you new cars? Yes. He goes, isn't it interesting that one thing would allow you to accomplish everything else? He goes, so the real goal is being able to hit that amount of money. Everything else just kind of falls in line because you have the right goal. Those are benefits of achieving the goal. And I don't know about you, but I was like, wow, that's really cool. So that's the way he kind of saw, setting the goals the right way. And then, there's a certain form, I can send that to anybody that wants to do it, on how to set a goal, SMART goal, and I think we talk about that here. Nobody can maintain consistent daily focus on a vague, undefined goal. A lot of people say, well, I want to be rich. Rich is not a goal. $5 million is a goal because it's a specific amount of money. But being rich isn't, because it's so subjective. I mean, being rich could mean you have $5, because if you have nothing, $5 is, you're pretty much rich. Without goals, being busy begins to occupy everybody's focus. I'm totally guilty of this. People are like, what'd you get done? I got this done and this done and this done. Well, what were you trying to get done? I don't know. I was straightening my desk or something stupid like that. People tend to set goals that they don't want to achieve. Some people tend to set goals that they don't necessarily want to achieve, because some people's goal is to get through the day. I just want to get through the day, and that's not necessarily a really good goal. It seems that you have a tendency to attract yourself to what you set yourself out for. If you decide you want to set out to accomplish something, that's usually what you get done. Whatever you're focusing on is usually what you're going to accomplish. And what do most people focus on? Circumstances. Most people focus on the circumstances. This came up, so I did that. Tomorrow something else is going to come up, so you're going to do that. The next day somebody's going to have a crisis, and you're going to go focus on the crisis. The next day you're going to have a crisis, or somebody in your family's going to have a crisis, and that's what you focus on instead of focusing on what you should. So here's how to set a goal, and this comes from David Bird. He goes, number 1, review your 5-year vision statement. Number 2, read through your dreams list. Number 3, choose your top goals, the top of what you could accomplish. And then pick one primary goal after you kind of narrow that list down. Once you've picked one primary goal, make sure it's a SMART goal, and this is what we get into the SMART goals. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. So specific, don't be vague. Exactly what do you want? It's very easy if it's an amount of money. If it's an amount of money and then a time frame. Measurable, quantify your goal. How will you know you've achieved it? Well, I want to make this amount of money in this time frame. So obviously now it's measurable. Attainable, be honest with yourself. If you're starting at 0 and you want to make $6 billion and you don't know how to create an app, or you're not going to create a cure of something, I mean, some people just like it's too much too fast. It's better to set a smaller goal and start hitting them to create consistency than it is one big ass goal that you're never going to get to, that doesn't seem realistic to begin with, that kind of messes up the process. Make sure you get the pattern down and then start running and start building it up. You can compound really fast, but if you can never get to the goal you're ever setting, not really that good. Realistic, it has to be something you're able to physically do. Like, I'm 180 pounds, I'm never going to be a jockey. No matter how bad I want to be a professional jockey, probably never going to happen. I'm never going to win, a horse race. It's just not going to happen unless I happen to be the horse, and then I'm really, because I don't run that fast. Time, associate the time frame with each goal. When should you complete the goal? So you got to have exactly when it's going to be. The action step to take, what action steps do I need to take to achieve this goal? Benefits to be gained, losses to be avoided, obstacles. The obstacles are what could possibly come up what am I going through right now that could possibly come up to stop me from this goal? You know, are you moving? Are you getting married? Are you starting a new job? Are you having a kid? You know, those are all things that can seriously alter your time frame. And then what are your solutions to that? Well, I'm going to work this night, this night, this night, no matter what. I'm going to stay up later. I'm going to find ways to creatively get in front of more people. Specific action steps. What am I going to do? Typically, all success boils down to 5 things. All success boils down to 5 things that you do every single day. Every single day, you not only do them, but you track them, and then you find out how effective you are with those 5 things. If you don't know the right 5 things, find somebody that already has it and find out what 5 things they did, and then you know what to do. So that's what we're going to, that's really goals in a nutshell. And the next part is something that we go over every time. The achievement is a proven system. It's not guessing. David Bird's actually done this for multiple people, multiple companies. It works. I watched it work in the company I was in. I'm watching him do it in another company currently. But he said, basically what stops us? What stops us is our natural human instincts. See, our natural human instincts would say, I don't need goals. I don't need goals. I'm just going to work harder. But what is the number one goal of, or what is the number one goal of your instinct? The number one goal of your instinct is basically your comfort and safety. The number one goal is to keep you exactly where you're at, doing nothing. So everyone has good intentions. You know, you have a good intention to do better, but if you don't set a goal and you just leave it up to good intentions, your natural human instinct will kick in and you won't get anything done. You cannot become who you've never been by doing things you've always done. You gotta do something different, gotta track it. And he said this, in order to be consistently effective, you must, not maybe, you must have a consistent system that basically goes around your natural human instinct. It has to go around your natural human instinct so that way you manage your daily actions by the choices you make, not by your feeling or not by your, you know, your instincts. So that system that he created is basically, you know, your dreams list, having a 5-year vision statement, having a mission purpose statement, being able to set annual goals, and then he gets into the deep part, which is, you know, having like a map, a massive action plan for each month, and then, you know, having a DMO, a daily method of operation, and last but not least, having the tracking and accountability to get it done. So that was really today, but the assignment of the day is actually we're creating a top 100 list, and today's assignment is a top 10 list of what you want to do friendship-wise or socially. You know, who are the friends that you really want to hang out with? What are some things you want to do? Do you want to have, you know, everybody over once a month for a huge dinner party? Do you want to have everybody over quarterly so that way you guys can do great get-togethers? You know, I have a friend that does quarterly parties. He does a Valentine's Day party. Amazing. He does like a 4th of July. Amazing. He does one of the best Halloween parties I've ever seen, and then he does a holiday party where last year or the year before we made cookies and gave cookies away and everybody dressed up. I mean, this is a guy who has 60, 70 people at his house, up to 100 people at his house in an evening. Everybody brings food. Everybody has drinks. It's just a great time. It's a good group. I mean, what do you want to do? Do you want a game night? You know, some people are video gamers. They want to have people over. So do you want to do something socially? Do you want to get together at maybe a favorite restaurant or a favorite pub? You know, what are the things you'd like to do? Why don't you write down a list of things you do want to do with friends and family? Put that down, complete that list, make it part of your top 100, and that's today's training. So make it a great day. I appreciate everybody. And if you have any, you know, anything to add or any feedback for me, you know, feel free to like, comment, and share this video. Thanks.